pretty important piece of information, important piece of news. I am delighted to be here with you, with my Premier, our Premier, as he provides some necessary leadership on an important issue that affects each and every one of us in this province. And let me be clear, it's his leadership that's bringing us here this morning. It is no doubt in anybody's mind that we have a demographic challenge in our province. There be no confusion about this, that we do have an aging population and a workforce which is growing somewhat smaller over the course of time. But we also have incredible opportunities here in this province. We have opportunities to grow certain sectors of our economy, which we are the masters of. And today's announcement, which will be led off by our Premier, which I'll be able to give further details to, is mastering that opportunity even further. Premier Furey comes with a long history of understanding that Canada brings so much to the world in his own efforts, in his own activities, his own initiatives. He's brought Canada to the world, and he's also become very aware that the world can bring great things to Newfoundland and Labrador. With that said, I'd like to invite to the podium our 14th Premier, Dr. Andrew Furey.
Thank you, Minister. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us. It's a beautiful day with a beautiful backdrop here. It's always a pleasure to be in this room in particular. I'm very glad to be here with Minister Byrne today and to share some important news for the future of Newfoundland and Labrador. Stabilizing Newfoundland and Labrador's population with a robust immigration policy is something that I'm incredibly passionate about. We know the realities of our demographics. We know the opportunities of our province. We know the value of living in this beautiful, safe place. In the months and years to come, as we work towards social and economic recovery, immigration will play a key role. Newfoundland and Labrador offers a high quality of life, as we all know. From our caring communities to access to spectacular nature, to a happy, healthy place to raise a family. And as a business environment where people can create bright futures for their communities. These are the reasons why I created the new Department of Immigration, Skills and Labor, to demonstrate that this is a priority for our Liberal government. Newcomers enrich our culture. And looking around the room today, I see some familiar faces, and some of you are newcomers. But you don't have to be born in Newfoundland and Labrador to be a true Newfoundlander and Labradorian. Newcomers enrich our entrepreneurial culture, and the skills and work experiences they bring to the table help fill key employment opportunities and grow industries here in Newfoundland and Labrador. They will allow local companies to better compete in the global marketplace. And one thing we've learned through this period of disruption is we are in a global marketplace. And Newfoundlanders and Labradorians can deliver their product to market better than ever before, despite the challenges of COVID-19. Newcomers also create businesses and jobs right here, hiring long-term residents and building on our proud history of innovation. We have exciting opportunities in emerging traditional industries, and we are working to recruit the necessary talent and skills to bring these opportunities to fruition. To help achieve these goals, I'm proud to announce a new immigration pathway, a priority skills Newfoundland and Labrador. This new focus and priority skills for immigration builds on gathering momentum to attract and retain more newcomers with fresh ideas and perspectives for growth. Launching on January 2nd, 2021, the pathway will attract highly educated, highly skilled newcomers with specialized experiences. That specialized experience is particularly needed in our growing technology sector, where the growing demand has outpaced local talent and recruitment. Let's just think about that for a second. Here in Newfoundland and Labrador, a heavily resource-based economy, during a global pandemic and a global economic crisis, we have opportunities in an ever-growing field. We have hope and optimism. Last year, the province welcomed 1,850 new permanent residents. That's an increase of nearly 40% in just 2 years. Roughly the population of Harbour Breton in 2 years. And despite the challenges posed by COVID-19, our government continues to plan for the future growth to surpass the 2022 target in increasing immigration to 2,500 new permanent residents annually. That, my friends, is the population of St. Anthony every year, year after year, building towards new targets and creating new economic opportunities. But speaking of COVID-19, I want to assure you that welcoming newcomers means doing so with the strictest of public health and safety guidelines. This is about building a bigger picture of sustaining growth in our province as we emerge from this pandemic and global economic crisis. Personally, I believe there are significant reasons for optimism in this province moving forward, and increasing immigration is key to helping our province reach its full potential. This new initiative is one example of something our government believes is very important for the future growth, development, and sustainability of Newfoundland and Labrador. Listening, engaging, and making sound decisions based on the best evidence available. That's what this government intends to do as we emerge from this crisis. I'd like to ask Minister Byrne to come up and share some more particular details of this important announcement today. Thank you very much. I'm supposed to do this, am I?
Thank you. It is true. There is a wonderful sea of opportunity available to us all. And it comes from leadership. And I want to thank the Premier for giving me a particular job, which I'm very, very blessed and happy to be in. It's something, quite a joy, to be part of growth, of a new opportunity. The Premier alluded to the fact that we have duties of citizenship to bring the world to support, to provide opportunity in our federal government through various initiatives, whether it be our refugee program, a national refugee program, which Newfoundland and Labrador has been blessed with the presence and the opportunity, the skills, and the diversity. All newcomers provide that incredible strength to each and every one of us. The government of Newfoundland and Labrador has an opportunity to partner with the federal government on key elements of immigration. More on the economic side. This is the nature and the course that the partnership between the federal and provincial governments, while the federal government retains overall immigration jurisdiction and control and sets the general immigration targets and parameters, they do share with provincial governments, and ours included, opportunities to participate specifically in targeted economic initiatives. So while we have duties of citizenship as Canadians to be supportive, nurturing, and responsive to the benefits of immigration, allow me to be clear that we have clear benefit from the economic component of immigration that benefits each and every one of us very directly. Newfoundland and Labrador is world-renowned, world-recognized as a center of excellence in ocean sciences, engineering, oil and gas developments. Through the strength of our entrepreneurial innovators, we are gaining an envious foothold in digital technologies, communication and information technologies, and we've created a renaissance. We've created a real renaissance in some of our renewable natural resources, in agriculture and aquaculture, which are no less high-tech in their nature in today's modern world than some of the high-end engineering studies of oil and gas. Aquaculture, agri-foods, and even forestry is not to be excluded. The use of biomass is being used as a source of energy, and it's a solution to carbon emissions through the use of technology, new technology. And this wave of technological innovation is capturing the possibilities. So technology is all around us. It's for us to capture the technologists. Leading this movement are the engineers, the scientists, and the researchers at the graduate schools of Memorial University of Newfoundland. We have an incredible resource. Let's think this through for a second. We've been able to, very deliberately, foster a world-class university with particular skills and strengths in things and matters which are incredibly important for us here at home. Ocean technologies, engineering and oil and gas, other initiatives complementing what we're doing through the Ocean Supercluster. We've created a university, we've attracted some of the best minds not only at home, but around the entire world to come to Memorial University of Newfoundland as a place to study, as a place to advance that technology and that expertise. But, you know, looking at problems and issues through fresh eyes is never a bad thing. And this is where the Premier has really, in his own skill set and his own vision of where Newfoundland and Labrador has really brought us to this point here this morning. If you think through, we've got a world-class university attracting the best talent both at home and abroad. We train them, they get credentials in master's degrees and PhDs and postdocs. And then, after accumulating that incredible expertise, which is so important for the key industries here at home, one of the gaps which has been identified is can we keep them post-graduation? Normally it's through work, with companies, successful companies that hire here at home. But we have to create a critical mass in order to be able to generate the core competence and strengths of those industries which we are mastering in information technology. And sometimes that has been difficult because the immigration pathway has really been about looking abroad for individuals, looking distantly for people with technological skills, with very specific skills and workplace experience to come and contribute to us. When in fact, we have that already here at home. Can we do that more effectively? Can we brace and harness that talent and recognize that opportunity should be made better and more easily available to us? That's the program we're announcing this morning. This morning, the Premier and I are very delighted to provide details about a new stream for immigration in Newfoundland and Labrador for permanent residency, and that is through priority skills. Those graduates at the master's and PhD level from Memorial University of Newfoundland will be given a direct pathway for permanent residency so that they can, in their graduation, post-graduation, look for opportunities with innovative employers, creative employers, open-armed employers to contribute to the economy of Newfoundland and Labrador. Before, they would necessarily, in order to enter the pathway, they would have to have an pre-existing core job offer. But we know this to be true, that in our growing technological sectors, we have certain shortages of skills that we must act on. The only way to act on that is to create a pool of competent, technologically savvy individuals to be able to draw upon. Now, it will go beyond Memorial University because we will also encourage others with those master's and PhD credentials to come to Newfoundland and Labrador in those core technologies. But for those outside of Memorial, we'll ask for additional work experience. So let me be clear about what this does for us and for Memorial University of Newfoundland. It creates a greater competitive advantage to Memorial to attract the best minds, the brightest minds, and the most eager and enthusiastic and ambitious minds from around the world to come to our university and to our province. because by graduating here in the core areas with a master's or PhD, you have a direct pathway to permanent residency. But we'll not leave it at that. We'll also entertain and encourage others as well, but we'll provide an additional layer of requirement that they must bring pre-existing work experience. This is powerful. This is important because it not only builds on what we need to do, creating a pool of expertise in Newfoundland and Labrador in those core areas that show growth, that can really advance the economy, but it also creates a competitive advantage for Memorial University of Newfoundland in a global, competitive world of attracting the best and brightest minds. That's why the Premier and I are so very, very unabashedly enthusiastic about this. I think it's a great step forward. It will certainly enhance the overall viability and strength and vigor of our high-tech fields, of our ocean sciences fields, and it will bring new energy to our renewable natural resources, fields in agriculture and forestry and aquaculture. Never forget, these are high-tech fields, and I know this because at Memorial University of Newfoundland's Corner Brook Grenfell campus, we are now in the process of generating our first cohort of PhD graduates in agriculture, and they are advancing the field of agri-foods already in our province at the master's and soon to be at the PhD level. So with that said, I want to say a very special thank you to each and every one of you because you have been guiding posts to get us to this place. You have taught us what needs to be done. Our consultations with industry have led us to this point. In this room today are representatives from the high-tech sector, from our partners in many of the Environmental Industries Association, the Aquaculture Industry Association, so many that it would be difficult to name them all. But we've had a great partner in our federal government. I want to say a special thank you and welcome to Karen Skinner as well from ACOA. We are doing this together. We're expanding on the role of Memorial University of Newfoundland. We're partnering with TechNL, NOIA, the Canadian Manufacturers and Exporters Association, and some leading tech firms, not just Genoa and Verafin and Provincial Aerospace, who we're so proud of, but the companies that are just downstairs at the Genesis Center. They will also be key leaders in this initiative. And I want to also say a very special thank you and welcome to two individuals who are in this room tonight, this morning, who may be some of the first participants in this. Maybe, hopefully. Ruben, originally from Honduras, has been working at Verafin as a computer science graduate of Memorial University. Yamini, originally from India, as a computer science student at MUN. She'll be graduating in December. Yamini now has a direct pathway, if she so chooses, for permanent residency. That's what this is all about this morning and in the days, weeks, months, and years ahead. Growing our immigration footprint, growing our talent footprint, growing our economic footprint, growing for the benefit of each and every one of us. Thank you so much to Memorial University of Newfoundland for your continued leadership. This pathway, this skills pathway, priority skills, will generate great economic benefits for each and every one of us. And I want to say finally, thank you to our Premier. Your leadership has been stellar, and the result is already proven. Thank you very much. Appreciate your attendance. So thank you all. Premier and I were available for some media availability, but feel free to socially distance but linger. Thank you all very much for coming. Appreciate that.